bandana wrap around your head, the bandana wrap around your head for niggas that's scared. Ain't nobody truller than me, ain't nobody truller than Scott, ain't nobody truller, man, I'm taking this spot. Yeah, these niggas that's scared.
Brothers in the city moving slow, 3500 for the coat. Only real niggas keep you flow, Only true niggas I know, 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 only true niggas I know.
What's going on YouTube? This is your boy, the Point God, coming at you guys once again. I am back here with another video. So we all know the NBA draft was a few days ago, and I'm sorry for making this video a bit late, but I needed to come here and do my draft analysis on the top 10 picks. So if you like this video, hit that thumbs up, comment down below your opinions, also subscribe if you are new to the channel, and also put the bell next to my name, hit it so you guys can be notified after each and every video that I post. Follow me on Twitter, follow me on Instagram, and add me on Snapchat. Links will be down below. So without further ado, let's get on with my draft analysis. So with the first pick of the draft, the Philadelphia 76ers took Markelle Fultz, the point guard out of Washington. This guy is pretty big, to be honest, in terms of his wingspan. He has 6'10" wingspan. That's pretty crazy. This guy's going to be able to guard point guards and shooting guards. Great fit for the Sixers. They have needed a guard for a long time. They got a forward in Ben Simmons who can't really shoot that well. We all know that. Joel Embiid can stretch the floor, but having a guard who can shoot the three ball, who shot 41% from three, is a huge boost for the 76ers. But I will say this, I do think that his free throw percentage is considerably low. He shot below 70% from the free throw line. That is something that he's going to need to improve. I know it's just college, but you need to improve that a bit. You don't want to be like Rondo to the point that, you know, you can't even do things in the last few minutes because of the fact that if you get fouled, you're just as reliable as some of these centers, you know. So that needs to go up. Hopefully he can bring that up. I'm pretty sure he can. That's not too big of a deal, but just bring up the free throw percentage because, you know, you don't want to be in those situations to where you're not dependable from the line. But besides that, the guy's a good player, could be a very versatile defender due to his height, three-point ability good, can score. The feds are coming. Fultz, Embiid, Dario, and Simmons, they are coming, man. They got their big three of the future, or should I say big four, including Dario. So with the second pick of the draft, the Lakers took Lonzo Ball, the 6'6" point guard coming out of UCLA. He broke the record for the most single season assists at UCLA. And it's going to be crazy to see him in LA. Expect Julius Randle if he's not traded, Jordan Clarkson if he's not traded, and Brandon Ingram, and everyone there pretty much to play better with him on the court. That's something I really admire about Lonzo Ball. I always love players who make other players around them play to the best of their ability. And that's something that you don't really find all the time in the NBA. Lonzo Ball has a very high basketball IQ. Reminds me of Chris Paul and LeBron James. He knows where everybody on the court's supposed to be, what their job is, and how to make them function at an elite or a high level. And that's something that I admire about Lonzo Ball. He's going to be a great player. He's very effective from three. Even though people say his shot, how's he going to get it off? Who cares? I mean, if you have an effective way to, you know, create space for your shot, it doesn't matter how slow your shot is, it's going to get off. I mean, look at Sean Marion. Though, you know, he wasn't really, you know, having dribble moves or anything, but Lonzo Ball's got those dribble moves. He's got ball handling ability, so expect him to be able to get off his shot. He's not going to be a bust. I don't understand why people are saying that. If it's hate for his father, don't take it out on Lonzo. He's going to be a phenomenal player. Watch out for him and expect him to have a very high usage rate. With D'Angelo gone, he's gonna have a pretty high usage rate. I could see him averaging about what, 16, 6, and 5, maybe 4. I think that's about right. 16, 6, and 4. That should be about right. He should be a #1 candidate, or should I say in the 1 to 3 candidates for the Rookie of the Year. So good pick for the Lakers. So with the third pick, the Boston Celtics took Jayson Tatum, the 6'8" small forward coming out of Duke. Now, personally, I do not understand what the Boston Celtics are trying to do here. Not that Jayson Tatum wasn't the best player left, or that, you know, he isn't a good player, but I don't get why they did not trade this pick. and why they drafted another small forward. When you think about it, let's think about this, right? The Boston Celtics could have easily gotten Jimmy Butler here, and I mean easily. The Boston Celtics could have traded this third pick along with maybe Jay Crowder or Avery Bradley, or maybe even both, and gotten Jimmy Butler, a guy who has a low contract. Remember, he signed his contract before, all these maxes started popping up, and Mike Conley got $153 million thrown at him. Kent Bazemore got all this money. We all know Timofey Mozgov. He signed his contract before all this stuff started going on. So you're telling me they couldn't trade this third pick along with Avery Bradley and, Jay Crowder for Jimmy Butler? And those two players, let's not forget, those two players are going to be asking for way more money once their contract is up, especially Avery Bradley. Expect them to be asking for a lot of money because he's not like Isaiah Thomas. He hasn't said that he's willing to take that pay cut, so expect him to be asking for that check. So trading Jayson Tatum, and Avery Bradley and Jay Crowder to the Chicago Bulls for Jimmy Butler and their pick. You could have gotten their pick too, so you still probably would have got another pick in the draft. You could have got probably the 16th or 15th pick. I don't remember what their pick was. I believe it was the 16th pick that turned into Justin Patton. So they could have still gotten another pick. So at this point, I don't really get what the Celtics are trying to do. And with the rumors that they may sign Gordon Hayward, who's another small forward, that means they would be 4 deep in the small forward position. Jay Crowder, Jayson Tatum, Jaylen Brown, and then to add Gordon Hayward, that would be the 4th small forward on their roster. I just don't get what the Celtics are doing. I don't think Danny Ainge really knows what to do with these picks. I think he just has them, and he's getting way too much credit to be a great executive just because he hoodwinked the Brooklyn Nets. It's not that big of a deal, dude. Congratulations, you hoodwinked the Brooklyn Nets. I just don't get why they didn't trade this pick. Not saying that Jayson Tatum isn't going to be a great player or isn't going to be a star. I think he's going to be a good player, but I just don't get why they didn't trade this pick when Jimmy Butler was there. I know the Bulls would have traded him because they traded him to the Timberwolves so they could get an injured Zach LaVine, a rookie that hasn't really shown much promise, and the 7th pick. So they would have taken maybe an Avery Bradley or Jay Crowder along with the 3rd pick to give you Jimmy Butler. So I don't get what the Celtics are doing, and especially when you consider that Blake Griffin just opted out his contract. If they had gotten Jimmy Butler, maybe that would have convinced Blake Griffin to go to the Celtics, and then you would have had a team there in order to beat the Cleveland Cavaliers, or to at least contend with them, because right now they're not even in contention with the Cavs, in my personal opinion. So the Celtics, in my opinion, took an L in this draft. So with the 4th pick of the draft, the Phoenix Suns select Josh Jackson from Kansas, and honestly, this is a great pick for them. The Phoenix Suns do need someone else who's going to be a star, and with the realities coming in that Eric Bledsoe most likely will leave them, I mean, they need to trade him for another star guard, a young one. Marquise Chris, a very good young player, Dragan Bender. They have some good pieces there, and they should build upon this. I mean, let's not also forget that Devin Booker, him and Josh Jackson should be a very good, pairing. And people were even discussing why the Celtics didn't get Josh Jackson. So some people even think Josh Jackson should have been a top 3 pick, but we all know why he fell, because, he didn't meet with Danny Ainge, or Danny Ainge flew out, and, he was pissed off about it, so he didn't draft Josh Jackson. But he's going to be a good player regardless. Good pick for the Phoenix Suns. Next year, they most likely will be in the lottery once again, and hopefully they can get a point guard, because I don't see Eric Bledsoe working out in Phoenix. He most likely should leave, in my opinion. He can't be wasting his prime years on a team that's rebuilding for the future when he needs to be winning right now in the present. So most likely expect them to be back here again next year to draft a point guard. Hopefully it can be Michael Porter, who knows. But for now, this is a good pick for the Phoenix Suns selecting Josh Jackson. So with the 5th pick of the NBA draft, the Sacramento Kings select De'Aaron Fox, the 6'3" point guard coming out of Kentucky. This guy, shout out to De'Aaron, H-Town represent. He's going to be a good player in my opinion. At best, he's been compared to John Wall, but the downside of him, I can see him being like an Alfred Payton type, because the guy cannot shoot the 3-point shot very consistently. He is completely inconsistent from 3, but with all that being said, I still think that he's going to be a good player. I'm looking at the upside, obviously. I'm not looking at the downside. Hopefully he can be what the Kings need. The Kings have needed a guard for a long time. They haven't had a star point guard in forever, pretty much, it seems like. But this is a good pick for the Kings, and I mean, hopefully they don't screw this up, because they have screwed up a lot of draft picks for all we know. So hopefully the Kings get this right, and De'Aaron Fox is the guy to go for them. So good pick for the Kings. So with the 6th pick of the draft, the Orlando Magic took Jonathan Isaac, who I think could be a solid player. Don't get me wrong, I could see him averaging maybe like 12 and 8 in his rookie year. But the Orlando Magic really don't know what to do at this point, because they did fall out of the top 5 in the draft. They were praying that they could get De'Aaron Fox, but I mean, we all know how that worked out for them in the lottery. But getting Jonathan Isaac should be okay. I think he'll be a solid player, like I said before. Good height, but needs to put on a few pounds. In my opinion, he's pretty skinny. Weighs about 210 pounds, but I mean, he's pretty skinny. That's pretty skinny for someone who's going to be playing the power forward and maybe the small forward at times. So, but the Magic have been trying to push the reset button for a long time, and them picking Mario Hezonja, it didn't really work out for them. So hopefully Jonathan Isaac can pan out in a better picture than Mario Hezonja. But I still think this is a good pick for the Magic. They got somebody who, in my opinion, won't be a bust, but he's not going to be like a superstar or anything along those lines. So good pick for the Magic, but next year they'll most likely be right back here in the draft lottery trying to get another star. So it is what it is. So with the 7th pick of the draft, the Minnesota Timberwolves traded their rights of this pick to the Chicago Bulls. I mean, they traded Zach LaVine, Chris Dunn, and this pick so they could get Jimmy Butler, and they swapped picks as well. I believe it was the 16th pick that resulted in Justin Patton, but this pick, the Bulls selected Lauri Markkanen, and I've already even addressed this in my last video. Y'all should go check it out. Not going to say much. I don't think this is a great pick when you had other great talent on the board, such as Malik Monk, Dennis Smith Jr., and if they really did want to get Chris Dunn to be their point guard going forward in the future, why not get Malik Monk, who can complement him, who's a great scorer? He's going to get buckets regardless in the NBA, so I just don't get why they passed up on him. This is not a good pick for the Bulls. Lauri Markkanen cannot play defense even on me, okay? So I just don't see this panning out. He's not going to be like a Kristaps Porzingis. This guy's going to most likely be like an Andrea Bargnani. It's just not going to work out in my opinion. Unless he proves me otherwise, I don't see nothing really panning out for this guy or the Chicago Bulls, but they are completely in rebuild mode. So I'm fine with that. I'm fine with us being in rebuild mode, but I'm not fine with us selecting Lauri Markkanen to lead the way. So with the 8th pick of the draft, the New York Knicks selected Frank Ntilikina. Correct me if I'm wrong in the comment section if that's not how you pronounce it, but they selected him, and honestly I don't know too much about him. I didn't watch him play overseas because he did play in the French league. But he averaged 15.2 points, 4.5 assists, 2.8 rebounds, 2.2 steals, and also hit 50% of his field goal attempts and an impressive 58.6% from 3. So hey, I mean, that's a pretty good percentage from 3, I will say that. But I mean, the chances of him being, a star, I just don't see it. He has a high bust potential. Apparently he has like a 58% bust potential according to some draft experts, but I don't see him really panning out. Hopefully he can be good, Knicks fans, because last year y'all did boo Porzingis and y'all were cheering this time, even though you had Dennis Smith Jr., who has high upside. He was on the board. Zach Collins, who played very well in the Final Four, he was on the board. Malik Monk, who slid out of the top 10, which is just so crazy in itself. He's going to get buckets, like I said before. He's on the board. So I just don't really get why they got Ntilikina. I mean, Phil Jackson, at this point, he should just be fired. I don't get why he's even the GM to begin with. The guy was thinking about trading Porzingis, and then the rumors that he fell asleep during draft workouts, or should I say pre-draft workouts. I mean, I don't know what Phil Jackson is really doing here. I mean, he's just ruining the the city of New York. He's a contamination to the New York Knicks. James Dolan is as well. He needs to be, something needs to happen to both of these guys because they both suck. Okay, they are horrible as GMs and owners of this team. They are just trash and they are just contaminating this team. So bottom line is this isn't really a great pick for the Knicks when you have other people on the board such as Dennis Smith, Zach Collins, and Malik Monk, who were the next picks, I might add, which we'll get into next. So with the 9th pick of the NBA draft, the Dallas Mavericks selected Dennis Smith Jr., who I think is going to be pretty good. He has tremendous upside. Some have compared him to Russell Westbrook. I wouldn't go that far to say he's going to be as good as Westbrook, but I expect him to be a pretty solid player. The Mavericks have needed to rebuild for pretty much a long time since they won that championship, the Cinderella moment. But it is what it is. I think Dennis Smith Jr. will be a good player, and maybe he can help Dirk in his last year, because most likely Dirk's last year will be the next season. So hey, shout out to Dirk, by the way. Thank you for everything you've done. And Dennis Smith Jr., expect him to be a pretty good rookie. I think he's going to be pretty solid. And even though Malik Monk and Zach Collins were on the board, I do think Dennis Smith Jr. is a better fit for the Mavericks at this point. Not saying that he's the better player out of those three, but I think he's the better fit. So Mavericks, good job drafting. You got the right guy, and I expect Dennis Smith Jr. to be a pretty solid player. Has high upside. I don't think he'll be a bust. A+ to the Dallas Mavericks for selecting Dennis Smith. So with the 10th pick of the NBA draft, the Portland Trail Blazers selected Zach Collins. They traded this pick with the Sacramento Kings so they could get the 10th pick, and the Kings got the 15th and the 20th pick. Shout out to the Kings for getting 3 top 20 picks. Good thing for them. They got Darren Fox, Justin Jackson, and they got Harry Giles, who should have been a top 10 pick had it not been for his injury. So it's a hit or miss with him, but who cares when you got 3 top 20 picks. And also, Zach Collins is a good pick for the Portland Trail Blazers because they do need some paint protection. They don't really have that many great big men. Nurkic is pretty good, don't get me wrong, but he's just a solid player. They need somebody else. And getting Zach Collins, he has amazing upside. He had pretty good numbers. He didn't even start any games during the 2017 season, and he averaged 10 points, 2 blocks, 6 rebounds, shot 74% from the free throw line and 47% from 3. So expect this guy to be pretty good, and he's a very good rim protector. In the game leading up to the national championship, he scored 14 points, he had 13 rebounds, had 6 blocks. So he's a really good rim protector. Expect him to be a pretty solid player. I expect him to be pretty solid. The Trailblazers need him to be pretty solid, and especially considering that this may be the last year of this backcourt of Damian Lillard and CJ McCollum coexisting together. I mean, they really need to do something, and them getting a big man addresses all their needs. So good job to the Portland Trailblazers. Alright, so this is your boy The Point God signing out. Comment down below your opinions. I want to know what you think about this draft, if you agree with me or not on any of these picks. Also, you guys, make sure you hit that thumbs up, subscribe if you are new to the channel, and hit that bell next to my name to be notified after each and every video that I post. Follow me on Twitter, follow me on Instagram, and add me on Snapchat. The links will be down below. And without further ado, I am out. Peace.
Fuck with me, I bring 2 bad ones to the crib. Fuck with me, I bring no bad ones to the crib. And every bitch a nigga fuck me on my dick. No, I don't know, I ain't always come down to this. My only rule is just don't hit me on my trap phone. You know I can't get caught up on my trap.